All right, hey guys. So E3 was last weekend, and we're just going to be doing a quick little recap. I'm joined with the Mighty Gazelle. You want to introduce yourself?
Hi guys, I'm MightyGazelle. Some of you have seen me before on one of his videos. We've had discussions in the past. We both enjoy video games, and E3 is kind of like the Christmas of video games. So we're gonna give our thoughts about what happened and explain kind of what we look forward to in the future.
So we're going to just cover the main highlights. We're probably going to go through these very quickly because each conference there was, I think, six conferences in total by Xbox, Sony, Nintendo, Ubisoft, EA, and Bethesda. And they revealed a lot of games, some good, some not so good. But we're going to start with Xbox. So the first major reveal was the Xbox One X. So, what do you think about the Xbox One X?
I'm not a fan of the name Xbox One X. It's kind of like it doesn't really portray what it doesn't portray like what the console is. They should have stuck with Scorpio because Scorpio stands out more. It's been beaten to death online. People aren't happy with the name either. I don't know. I feel like X is kind of lazy, especially since they have Xbox One S. They both sound very similar, and I think that might cause some confusion with parents. So, and the price isn't the greatest. 500 is kind of a lot to ask for like a mid console upgrade for something that people already have.
Yeah, definitely. Um, Especially considering Scorpio was a much like cooler sounding name than just
Yeah,
X.
especially now that people have been talking about Scorpio for so long, it's
Mhm.
like that's on people's minds more than Xbox One X.
So,
So
the Xbox One X, I'm not sure if it shows the specs here, but like you said, it's like a mid-range like gaming PC. I think it has how much 8 gigs of RAM or 12 gigs? I think it had 12 gigs of RAM
doesn't it
and
have like 8 teraflops or something they keep
some
spouting out?
some sort of teraflops that no one cares about, and some sort of like memory bus. I don't know. A lot of specs that console gamers are gonna have no idea, and they're just saying them to sound cool. But yeah, like I said, it's 499. In my opinion, this thing is going to be a huge failure. Not too many people are. It's going to have very low sales just because you can purchase an Xbox One S or a normal Xbox One used for around $200 on eBay. So paying an extra $300 for an Xbox One X is kind of ridiculous in my opinion, especially considering you're not going to be able to play. Like, there's not going to be too many games that are going to take advantage of the software, at least not early on. And yeah, I think you're better off just getting the normal Xbox, in my opinion. I don't know what you think.
I agree completely. If you could get an Xbox One at 250 or one at 500, but they both play the same games, why would you not get the cheaper one?
And I should also mention, like, Sony did this last year with the PS4 Pro, and not a whole lot of people went out and bought the PS4 Pro, so I think it's going to follow the same example. But
At least with the Pro, it was cheaper. It's
mhm.
only 400 versus 500, so it's like at least you can get 4K. That's like the draw with that one. It's like you pay 400 for 4K gaming. I don't think too many people really have 4K televisions yet. I feel like it's
Okay.
90% of the market's still 1080p, which most people are fine with 1080p anyway. So I don't know.
And there wasn't a Halo announcement in this E3. I'm just going to point that out now. So there's not like a huge game that people are going to just run out and buy an Xbox One X for. At least not this year. So moving on to the game trailers, Xbox revealed a ton of game trailers. Let's see, what did they start with? I think they started with
They
Forza.
started with
Yeah.
Forza to try to like show off the new 4K graphics and enhanced lighting and everything, and it looked pretty. Personally, I'm not a Forza fan or a fan of racing games in general. Outside Mario Kart, I'm pretty like boring when it comes to racing games. I know. See, it says in-game footage. That's so like
Oh,
misleading.
yeah.
I
Sony
don't
did
know.
this last year. Like during the conference, they're just like 4K footage. But if you're watching this on like a 1080p display, there's no way you can see what 4K looks like. So it's very deceiving.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
But it looks nice. I'm not a big racing fan, so not really
I
too
would
much to
get I
say.
would get bored of Forza very fast myself. Realistic cars, I'd rather go outside and drive an actual car than play a simulator of a car. Um, I don't know.
I like arcade racing games, but Forza is a little bit too simulatorly.
Not trying to put down anyone who like enjoys Forza games, because if you enjoy Forza games, I'm sure you'll like this one. But yeah,
So then they unveiled Metro Exodus, which was a huge surprise. Metro is a super popular PC game with amazing graphics. It's like a very atmospheric post-apocalyptic first-person shooter, kind of similar to Fallout 4 in some ways, but it's a little bit more like, I guess you would say, I don't know how you would describe it, a little bit more like story-driven, not open world or anything like that. But it looks great. I don't know what you thought about it.
Visually, it's definitely one of the most impressive games at the conference out of all the conferences this year. I will say the trailer they showed felt very scripted. I feel like a lot of what's going on that we're seeing isn't actually going to be in the game. That's to be seen, of course, but yeah, it looks very cool. It looks like a game I'd enjoy to play.
Yeah, and this was just really surprising to see at the Xbox conference because this has been a PC game for so long. I'm not really sure why it was at the Xbox conference, but it should be a Xbox and PC, or probably
There was probably some money under the table
Yeah.
saying, "Hey, let us show this at our conference because we need it."
it's probably on PS4 too. I'm pretty sure they're not going to leave it out. But anyways, moving forward, Assassin's Creed Origins. Probably cover this a little bit later, but this is the new Assassin's Creed game. It takes place in Egypt. What do you think about it?
It doesn't look too drastically different from any other Assassin's Creed. It's basically Assassin's Creed at this point is every new one's just a new location with maybe a couple new elements in gameplay. In this case, it looks like an eagle you can use to sort of scout out areas. Visually, it looks pretty great. Nothing like mind-blowing, but pretty solid Assassin's Creed graphics. I haven't played a great Assassin's Creed game since Assassin's Creed 2. So I'm personally not going to be picking this one up until it's probably cheaper. I might try it out then, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with the series either. I own a lot of them, but I never got around to it. I played Black Flag, that was really fun, and then one of the other ones, but I forget. But the gameplay definitely looks very similar, but the graphics look really nice. So I don't know. If you're into graphics, maybe this will be super enjoyable, but I'm not sure if the gameplay is too different from the others. So moving forward, let's see. Deep Rock Galactic. You thought this looked pretty cool.
I thought it was a nice hidden gem in the conference. I don't think it's gonna be anything crazy. Like it's probably like a $20 game that you can get on the store.
Kind of looks like a co-op Minecraft with guns.
Yeah, it looks like a good time if you found it on sale. If it was like a free game of the month or something, that'd be a fun.
Yeah, definitely
time
a
to play.
fun game to play with friends, and you
Yeah.
can shoot like little spiders or whatever.
I like the art style too. It's very what's that game? It's like the Tomorrow People that came out kind of recently. I don't know if you've ever heard of that game, but it's very similar. It's very artistic.
I don't think I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's not a great game, but it's a big one that came out.
And then PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds is getting an Xbox exclusive release, which is pretty interesting considering PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds is the top seller on Steam, and it's a sort of a battle royale survival game that a lot of people are interested in. Very similar to like H1Z1 and so forth. But we'll just skip through that since you don't know too much about it, right?
I don't know anything about it.
And then State of Decay 2, it's a zombie game. Did you have anything to say about this one?
One of the running themes at this E3 was a lot of zombie games. I feel like every conference had a zombie game. I'm personally kind of burnt out on zombie games. I played a little bit of the first State of Decay. This one seems to the main draw being it's a co-op online experience, and I'm sure it'll be fun. I'm sure a lot of people will enjoy it. I wouldn't mind playing it myself, but it's not one I'm heavily looking forward to or anything.
Yeah, the first one was pretty fun. I played it on Steam. You could probably pick it up for a few dollars during the summer sale. Next on the list, Minecraft is getting a 4K release on the Xbox One X. Hooray!
I can't believe they're advertising this game so heavily. Everyone's played Minecraft at this point, and the fact that they're like advertising this graphics pack that people on PC have had for years, it's like, really? Yeah. I mean, cool for, I don't know.
This is literally
who's still
something that's been
playing.
out for like 10 years.
Minecraft is a very fun game, but we all know what Minecraft is, so you don't need to like have a presentation like for like 4K, like woo. But I mean, it's Minecraft. I mean, Minecraft is known for its simple graphics, so I don't really see how 4K is necessary. Very nice though. For people
I wonder
to
if
play,
they'll
I
ever
guess.
move on to like a Minecraft 2 in the future.
Where there's like spheres, like rounded edges.
And then they released this like Dragon Ball fighting game. It's called Dragon Ball Fighter Z. It looks pretty nice. I think you enjoyed it, right?
I like the visual style of it. I like
So
the
far.
cell shaded look it's got going on. It looks very visually appealing. I'm not a huge fighting fan. Like I
I'm
don't
not either.
I don't grasp combos and controls of fast paced fighting games that well. It would take me a long time to learn. That's why I stick to Smash Brothers because it's far more friendly. But this one looks very. I'd love to sit there and watch someone play this, like two skilled players. That'd be a lot of fun.
I'm more of a fan of like the 3D like Budokai games. I forgot what the recent ones were, but this one like it's just a traditional fighting game for the most part. What it looks like anyway.
Yeah.
And then moving forward, the Darwin project. I guess I'm just gonna skip through that because it.
One of the most awkward parts in the presentation. That's all I'm
Yeah,
gonna say.
during the
It had,
conference, it was very.
They had
odd.
some guy jump on stage and like, oh my god, look what's happening now, and it's just like, oh, it's not that exciting. I don't know. It looks like Hunger Games meets a video game.
Yeah, it's supposed to be some sort of like competitive, like I don't know.
Yeah.
It's probably not gonna be that great. Anyways, and then Black Desert is on the Xbox One. Black Desert is a MMO that recently released on Steam and it's been out on PC for the last year, I believe. It's a very popular MMO, probably the most popular in recent years. So it looks great. If you guys want a MMO with some pretty nice stylized combat, this one is pretty enjoyable. I just heard it's very grindy, and I should also mention that there's no membership fee. I think it's a one-time fee of like $10 to $15 or so, and then you can get it forever. But there's a lot of microtransactions and so forth. Very pretty looking game. Moving forward from
If I had an Xbox One, I would enjoy playing that game. It'd be a lot of fun.
you can get it on PC.
Yeah, I can definitely get on PC now.
I'm planning on picking it up next week. And then the last night, you said this game looked pretty cool.
Yeah, another very cool looking indie game. I think I would hope a game like this turns out pretty well. It's got a very cool dynamic. It's like 3D world meets pixel art, which is very cool. I'm sure it's been done before, but this just looks very visually appealing. If it's like a adventure style game with some action, that could be a lot of fun. I wish it was on PS4, but apparently it's not. So
Looks pretty nice. Hopefully it has a good story.
yeah,
And then the Artful Escape, I think I'm just going to skip through that one. Sort of a strange, like, I don't know. There's a lot of indie games here. Nothing too noteworthy. Code Vein looks like some sort of anime style, like Dark Souls, where you're fighting various creatures. It's like a hack and slash. I'm going to go to my...
I've never really been into
Watch the
Dark Souls,
gameplay.
but I like the graphics of this game. It's very pretty. I like the anime sort of look. Yeah. Have you played too much Dark Souls yourself?
No,
or
I haven't. I played like the first 10 minutes of Dark Souls 1 and that's it. But
Very brutal game.
I do want to get into it
series.
sometime. I just never found some time to play it. Tacoma, sort of a strange space game. What do you say about it?
This game is... They didn't show hardly anything. They showed people walking down hallways and saying, hey, pre-order now. Like, it's very odd. See, look, they're just like walking and that's pretty much all they show. And then at the end, it's just like, hey, pre-order this game now. So,
Yeah, just a
it's very
bunch of
odd.
indie
I don't
games.
get it.
And then Cuphead, which is like an animated game. I just want to quickly show you guys what this looks like. Looks like a very old traditional like Disney animated movie.
They put a lot of work into this, it looks like. I think they deserve to make... Or it should turn out to be very good.
September 29th. And then that's pretty much it of that. And then they also released Ashen. I did not remember this game from the conference.
Nor do I. Oh, that's that where you and your brother like go down the
Oh
lines
yeah.
and stuff.
Is this
It
from
looks kind of cool.
Is this from the developers of the Tales of whatever? Two Brothers?
It might be. It looks very cool though. I mean, I don't have an Xbox One again, so I can't play it. For anyone listening, I play Nintendo, PS4, and PC, but Xbox One is the one I don't have. So
Life of Strange 2 is getting a release.
didn't play the first one, but I know a lot of people are looking forward to the second one.
Definitely a very popular game. And then Super Lucky's Tale, which is a very cute looking like N64 style platformer that looks great.
They teased everyone by making it think it was Conquer at the beginning. I think they knew what they were doing. They showed like the tail and like had people freaking out on the stage, but then no, it's looks like a Nintendo styled game on the Xbox, which is very cool. I think a lot of people would find that interesting and a lot of fun to play. I'm a fan of whenever a company tries to do something different, and I like how Xbox is traditionally like Halo, Gears of War, and stuff. They try something like this, so if it turns out to be good, that's just a benefit to Xbox owners. Be a lot of fun.
And Sea of Thieves, which I think is also being oh wait, being released by Rare. Oh yeah, this is the game that you are looking forward to, right? It's like a
Yeah, I think. Oh, we have differing opinions on this. You think it might flop? I think it's going to turn out to be a very fun sort of multiplayer adventure kind of game where you just have fun with friends. But it's made by Rare, who, like you said, is made by Rare, and they haven't made a good game in quite a while. Their best days are definitely like way in the past, in the '90s and the N64 and stuff. But I hope this is their return to form. It looks very ambitious. Looks like a lot of fun.
yeah, definitely a fun game where you're like being a pirate and looking for treasure and so forth. It'd be interesting to see if there's going to be like ship battles or how large the multiplayer scale is going to be. I mean, I'm sure there
Yeah,
is, but we'll see.
a lot of details still to be revealed.
And then Crackdown 3, I don't care too much about Crackdown. What do you think about it?
I haven't played a Crackdown since the first game, and that was quite a while ago, but I remember it being very nonsensical fun. A lot of orb collecting. It's famous for its orbs scattered everywhere. Um, I haven't seen any gameplay of this other than what we're seeing on screen right now, but it looks, I mean, I'm sure people are going to enjoy it. It's been a long time since we've had a Crackdown game.
And then Shadow of Mordor Orcs. Wait, the Orcs. Wait, what's it called? I forgot what it was called.
Shadow of War is the name,
Shadow
I
of
think.
War. Okay, yeah. So Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War. The original, like the first one that came out, was super popular, especially on PC. You didn't play it, right?
No, I did not.
But this game, in the trailer, if you guys watch the trailer, it's a little bit more lighthearted and it's a lot brighter. It's in a more foresty setting. And I don't know, it was just a little bit strange to me. You guys will have to watch the trailer, but the first game was like really dark and brutal. This game seems to try to add a little bit of humor. This orc here, the big one, kind of reminded me of Shrek in some ways, but it looks good. I'm sure it's going to do very, very well. And also, I've already seen sales for it. It's already like 30% off, so you guys could probably pick it up for like $40 or so. And then moving forward, Ori and the Will of Wisps is the sequel to Ori and the Blind Forest, so I'm sure that's going to be great. And then Ashen, so you're really excited for this one.
It's actually Anthem.
Anthem, oh, sorry.
So Anthem is BioWare's new game. It's the BioWare team, I believe, that traditionally does Mass Effect games. The most recent Mass Effect game was a different group. This looks like Destiny, but with a little more sort of style to it. Destiny feels very generic. I don't mean generic in the sense that it's not original, but doesn't try anything crazily different. This one's a beautiful open world where you're in these mech suits, and it looks like just go on missions and pick up equipment as you fight enemies. It looks like a lot of fun. I know you have your doubts on this game, but I think I'm holding out hope that it's going to be a very fun co-op adventure.
Yeah, in my
online.
opinion, it's basically Mass Effect Andromeda's gameplay mixed with more of a like Destiny style genre, but
Which to refresh everyone, you actually liked Andromeda's
yeah,
gameplay.
definitely. Mass Effect Andromeda
Yeah.
has had great gameplay. They just didn't have enough of it in the game, which was really disappointing. And this one looks like it's added a lot more like features and so forth. So it's like a third-person game, and you go around doing various like raids or whatever, and getting loot from bosses, randomized drops, and so forth. And you play with your friends. At the end, it shows 4-player co-op, just like Destiny and so forth. So it looks great, that's for sure. And then that's the end of the Xbox One. So let's quickly go through Sony. Sony unveiled a new Uncharted game, which you said was like a sequel, I mean a spin-off or something like that, right?
Yeah, it's sort of a think of like an expansion to a PC, like you would get to a PC game or something, but just starring different characters. This I think it stars Chloe, not what's her name, Chloe. I think the brown hair girl name is, and I don't remember the new girl's name. She was in Uncharted 4. These two characters, a lot of people really enjoy, and it's basically Uncharted's known for its banter between characters, and this just gives them a new chance to have sort of fresh blood in the story, because we've always had Drake and Sully. So I'm looking forward to it. I wouldn't pay $60 for it. I hope it's like a $40 sort of thing, because they said it's not as long as a traditional Uncharted game, but this game does give you access to the Uncharted 4 multiplayer. They're both linked together. Which the multiplayer is a lot of fun. So if you enjoyed Uncharted 4 multiplayer, then this gives you access to that as well.
Personally, I'm a big fan of the Tomb Raider series, and just seeing a female lead in Uncharted, it just reminds me a little bit too much of Tomb Raider, but hopefully it's a little different.
Oh yeah, these characters are definitely different than Lara Croft. Lara Croft is like, she feels more mature than these characters because these people are almost goofy at some point at some
Okay.
points, but in a good way, not like in a cheesy way.
Mhm.
I think you'd enjoy it though.
And then let's see what's next. Horizon Zero Dawn has an expansion DLC. I don't think anyone really cares too much about DLC.
Yeah, we're gonna skim over most of the DLC esque things that were in the
Days Gone,
conferences.
another zombie game.
Yep, this is Sony zombie game. Looks very cool. This is a game that interests me. I don't know if it's enough to make me buy it, but you can manipulate the sort of mob mentality of the zombie AI, like he's about to do here, and have it attack the enemies, which is very cool. It's a very cool idea. I don't think too many games have ever really done that, to my knowledge. That's how clever they'll be able to use that is yet to be seen. But graphically, it looks good, and if it has a good story and gameplay, then you have a good package for a game.
Looks like the zombies run pretty fast in this game too, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, they look like World War Z zombies. You know, like the mob,
Yeah.
like kind of crazy ones. So that's it. Like it's definitely not like Left 4 Dead, really, but they're kind of like just average.
Then we saw a Monster Hunter reveal, which was a surprising release. So the first Monster Hunter game on PlayStation in quite some time. Do you know anything about Monster Hunter?
I've never played one. I know it has a very rabid fan base, and I know some people who are very excited for it because obviously it's a huge open world Monster Hunter game coming to PS4, which is in itself very cool. I'm happy for the fans.
From the
Looks good.
From the looks of it, it kind of reminds me of Ark, just a lot of dinosaurs, and you're fighting them and trying to, I guess, kill them. But yeah,
Yeah.
looks pretty interesting. A lot of people are big fans of Monster Hunter. And then we saw this Shadow of Colossus, the being remade, not remastered, remade.
Yeah. So I've never played the first game, but I think we both know it's a very popular game. It's one that a lot of people actually really like, and the fact that it's being remade from the ground up, like new models and everything. I'm sure longtime series fans will love to play it. I'm probably not going to play it because if I didn't play the original or the HD remake, I don't see a reason to play a remaster.
It's
But
it's very surprising to me that they didn't just release like a sequel. I'm not sure why they're releasing like a remake right after a remaster.
maybe this is a build up for one.
Maybe.
Maybe it's like maybe the sequel's coming like next year.
Maybe trying to get
after.
more people into the series because you know a lot of people don't know anything about Shadow of Colossus because it was a PS2 game, and there's a lot of younger gamers that have never experienced PS2 games, so maybe they're just trying to
Yeah.
get people into it.
Definitely.
And then Call of Duty World War II, a trailer that shows some gameplay looks really nice.
This is the first I haven't bought a Call of Duty in probably the past 3 or 4 games because I hate the futuristic sort of fast-paced multiplayer gameplay.
I think
they
everyone
have.
does.
It's just there's something so much better about World War II because it feels more real. It feels more fair and more enjoyable to play. Like look at this. There's no running on walls. It's just like
There's no
boots in the ground.
There's no
just
thruster
firing at
packs
people.
and crazy
Yeah.
robots shooting machine guns at you.
Me and you are both huge fans of the World War II games, and this one, Return to Form, it looks like should be a lot of fun. Graphically looks amazing, and I'm definitely picking it up.
Yeah, so am I. I'm definitely looking forward to it because I didn't pick up last year's Call of Duty. I think the last one I purchased was Advanced Warfare on the Xbox, but I hardly ever even played it. But that was the one with like, what is his name? Kevin Spacey or
Oh yeah, I forgot. I
forgot his name, but
their marketing campaigns, I've got them all confused in my head.
oh, and then last year's Call of Duty, I didn't know, but Conor McGregor was in it, which is very strange. They just have all these weird actors playing them.
So next, they had a section of PSVR games. They had like a string of them in a row. Almost all of them didn't interest me, or you for that matter. Well, you don't have a PS4,
Yeah, well,
but
yeah.
I don't. We're not fans of VR. Not that we don't like the idea, but PSVR feels very clunky, and the fact that it's just sort of the first of its kind, and I feel like it's not perfected yet.
I feel like
And-
everyone is slightly interested in VR, but the thing is, no one has VR headsets. This just caters to like the top 1% of people who actually own VR headsets, just because they're so expensive.
And what kind of target group? How big can the target group be of Final Fantasy fans that want to play a simulation fishing game?
So there's not a trailer
very
here,
odd.
but at the Sony conference, they just showed Final Fantasy 15 fishing in VR, which didn't really make
with
a
some
whole lot
monsters.
of sense.
It was like they occasionally had like a lizard monster come out of the water, like you had to fight it like while fishing. It was really weird. I'm sure there's like those 3 people out there who are like, oh my god, my dream has come true. But for 99% of the rest of the world, no one could care less about something like that.
I
So
don't think it shows it here, but they also showed off Skyrim in VR, I believe, at the Sony conference, and also what else? They showed like some low end
there was
shooter.
a SWAT team game
Yeah.
who looked pretty bad. There was some platformer that was
Oh
supposedly
yeah.
VR, which doesn't make sense to have a platformer game as like a 2D platformer game with VR. I don't get that.
Yeah, all in all, just nothing really worthwhile in the VR department.
I feel bad if you bought a PSVR last year and are hoping for some good games this year, because you definitely did not get them. I'm sorry for you guys. You didn't get any like reassurance that your purchase was like worth it. So
And then they also revealed a God of War game, which looks really nice.
yeah, I've never played a God of War game. I've always like seen people play it in like videos and stuff. It's just not my kind of play style. I just like watching it visually. I couldn't see myself playing it, but this one looks a little bit different. It looks more up my alley in terms of combat. It's much more close, like a third-person game almost. And I don't know, it looks
It
interesting.
looks a bit more challenging, especially with like the
Yeah,
bosses
definitely.
and so forth.
I wonder if they're making Kratos more vulnerable in this game. I think that's their angle with like having a son and stuff like that. He looks kind of old.
I hope
He's
so.
aging now.
I played one of the God of War games, and you feel like almost invincible most of the time.
Yeah, I feel like you could die from a god and somehow just get brought back to life or something. Like I'm probably butchering that, but I feel like that's always what happens. So I don't know.
So moving on, Detroit. Do you want to say anything? I'm just kind of want to skip over
A
that.
lot of people are interested. It's made by people who made like Heavy Rain and stuff. It's like they make decisions and
It's-
visually looks great. Gameplay wise, we didn't really see much, so still waiting to see more on that one before we can really make a verdict. It's coming out this year.
It's about
so
androids rebelling against their creators and so forth. Very, I don't know. That storyline has been like replayed over and over again, especially in like the DSX series.
think Will Smith's iRobot, pretty much, and that's kind of the premise of this game.
And then at the very end, they unveiled a Spider-Man game, which was kind of shocking because I don't think a lot of people are too interested in Spider-Man. But once they showed off the gameplay, it looked pretty incredible.
In terms of presentations at E3, this is easily a top 3 in terms of like how fun it looked. Think of Arkham, the Arkham games meets Spider-Man. That's basically what this is. Plus a little bit extra, obviously, because Spider-Man's much more like mobile than Batman in terms of like going around the city. I know Batman has like a grappling hook, but this gameplay looks very fun. Look at that! You can like pull a girder and like flip and hit people. It looks like a lot of fun. I know you personally looked forward to this a lot.
Yeah,
what are
definitely.
your thoughts?
If I owned a PS4, this is definitely a game that I would pick up. It's a first-party release, and just judging from this like gameplay trailer alone, I would definitely say it's probably one of the most polished games of E3 this year.
I'm honestly surprised PlayStation got this exclusive because Spider-Man's such a huge deal. I wonder how like much they had to pay to get an exclusive Spider-Man game like this. Looks like a lot of fun though.
So I guess we're going to be moving on to Nintendo next. And we'll just quickly, there wasn't a whole lot at Nintendo, but what they did show was really great. First, they showed Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which looks pretty awesome.
The more I see of this game, the more I want to play it, honestly. I can just imagine taking this on the go, like around my house, like on the Switch, and playing this nice open world like RPG game. It looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think this is definitely a game I would pick up if I had a Switch currently.
I haven't played any of the first games, but if I needed to, I would not have no problem looking up the story for the other games to catch it myself up. But from what I can tell, this is a standalone story. It might have like small tie-ins to the older games, but I feel like you should be okay jumping into this blind.
I hope this is a start of a lot more. Like, as you know, Japan is known for making a lot of RPGs. I would like to see a lot of JRPGs on the Switch. I think that would be great for the genre.
Yeah.
But moving forward, Kirby got a unveiling.
The first HD Kirby game ever made, which is not really talked about a lot, but it's Kirby. It's pretty simple. It's nice, fun gameplay. A lot for younger audiences, but you can't go wrong with Kirby. I mean, it's a pretty safe game to know like what you're gonna get.
And it reminded me very much of the one on Nintendo 64. I forgot.
Oh, definitely.
What was the name of
It's
that
Crystal
one?
Shards.
Crystal Shards. That's the only one I'm familiar with. I remember playing that when I was very young at like my daycare. I love that game.
It's interesting you say that because this game is literally Crystal Shards 2 because you can combine two different powers. Like right there is a bomb plus water. Right here, it looks like there's ice plus the rock. You can combine the different powers.
Yeah, that's what I loved about it. Just sucking up little enemies and getting their powers. And I don't know. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, can't go wrong with Kirby. I'm sure it'll be fun.
And then Pokemon had a few unveilings, I suppose. Not a whole
They
lot.
double dipped. They double dipped on Pokken, which they announced a week or two ago. It's a fighting game. It's getting ported over to the Switch. And then you want to talk about the surprise they unveiled to everyone in a way?
Oh, they are making a mainline Pokemon game, not this year, maybe next year, which will be pretty interesting on the Switch. So it'll be on the Switch, a mainline Pokemon game. So that has a lot of people excited. This year, unfortunately, there's not going to be anything Pokemon related except for Pokken. There is going to be Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, which is basically like a spin-off of Sun and Moon with a different story, but the same setting and same Pokemon, etc. That will come out for the 3DS and 2DS. I think that's it, right?
Yeah,
Anything else?
pretty much. Oh, there's the one big reveal that happened next.
Oh, yeah.
Metroid Prime
Metroid
4 got
Prime.
announced. It was just a logo, nothing more than a logo floating in space. It looked like it was made in iMovie. But literally, everyone lost their mind on the internet. We saw no gameplay, but
So
this is essentially the Half-Life game for Nintendo fans. Not to that degree, like not that high, but this is the closest Nintendo fans have the equivalent of that. People have been asking for over a decade for the next Metroid Prime game, and they finally came out and said, "Okay, shut up. We're making it. Here's a logo. Go wild." And that's basically what happened. People are very happy now,
So,
and everyone.
I don't know a whole
Yeah.
lot about Metroid. I played the one on GameCube for a very short amount of time, but I am hoping that they do a little bit more with the series. Maybe like if they added multiplayer to a Metroid game, I think that'd be so cool. Having a shooter like on the Switch, that'd be very interesting, like a multiplayer game. But
Oh,
it's
yeah,
probably going to be
definitely.
like single player focus, which is fine too. But it'd be cool if they just tried to add something new to the series.
Yeah,
But yeah, big game.
they didn't show anything, like, so we can't really talk too much about it.
Yoshi Yarn World, you're not really thrilled about this, a platformer.
It looks just like Yoshi Woolly World 2, but with a better sort of style. There's like cardboard, and this is running in Unreal Engine 4, which is kind of impressive for the Switch.
Yeah, it looks fantastic visually.
Yeah, so Yoshi seems out of place, like his character model, but other than that, like everything, like isn't it weird? It looks kind of shiny.
Yeah, same with the
But everything
coins.
else,
The
everything
coins
else
are
looks pretty
a little bit
great.
too bright.
Yeah, I'm sure people who like Woolly World will enjoy this game. So
And then a DLC for Breath of the Wild.
skip it, veto.
Yeah,
We don't talk
skip
about
that.
DLC.
Amiibos, skip that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Rocket
Just
League
need a
is
veto.
coming for the Switch, which is a pretty big deal. It's going to have
so-
cross-platform.
There's actually a little bit of a heated debate that's going on right now because PS4 came out and said that they're not going to allow crossplay amongst these consoles, but Nintendo is, and people are very mad at Sony because, like, if Nintendo can crossplay with Xbox and PC, like, why isn't Sony doing it? They're being very protective over their reasoning, but it's kind of cool just the thought of because in Rocket League on Xbox you can have a Warhog. So like having a match with someone who's a Warhog versus someone who's like in a Mario hat, like or a Mario Kart car, that'd be kind of cool. Honestly, like and it's an official thing. Like that's a first. That's pretty crazy to think about.
I think this game is going to be super popular, like on the go. If you could imagine just having like 4 friends just meeting up somewhere and playing locally.
Yeah,
I
like
think
at a
that'd
coffee
be
shop.
So much fun.
Oh yeah, definitely. That'd be great.
Or at
That'd be a great
work or
time.
wherever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a huge release. Next, Super Mario Odyssey, which is the biggest game I think of E3.
Honestly, game of show for me. I can't wait to play this game. You're probably gonna switch just to play this game again after you had it the first time. It looks to revolutionize what 3D Mario has been. Every 3D Mario tries to one up the last, and this definitely looks like more of the same in that direction. Very visually appealing. The music in the trailer was awesome. The worlds look great. Power ups look awesome. What are your thoughts on it?
So yeah, I thought it was really cool. Like, there's a lot of different settings in multiple places of the world. There's a whole lot of, I don't know, there's just a bunch of different settings, which is really interesting. And they've added a lot of new game mechanics. You have a hat now that you can throw, and you can throw it onto animals, and you can turn into various creatures, like that dinosaur at the beginning. I'm pretty sure you get to play as the dinosaur, which is
Yep.
very cool in many ways. But yeah, there's also these like 2D parts, and I feel like this is going to be one of the best Mario games ever, if not the best. So.
Oh yeah. So in gaming, you never know really if a game's going to turn out to be great or not. But I feel like in 3D Mario games, they've never disappointed.
They also showed someone playing it for like an hour or so, and from what he played, it looked nice.
Yeah, definitely. For people who say the Switch is underpowered, you could be correct, but they make up with that in art style. Like this game just looks amazing
And
to me,
content,
even-
like
yeah, definitely.
I'm pretty sure this
definitely.
game is probably going to be like 40 hours. Breath of the Wild was also like 30, 40 hours, so definitely worthwhile.
Yeah, definitely.
And then I guess moving forward, I think that's it. There's a Metroid game coming to 3DS.
Yeah, 2D Metroid. People have been wanting that for a long time. It's a remake of Metroid 2, which was in the original Game Boy, so I don't think too many people still play that today. So it's kind of cool they're bringing some fresh air into it.
And then those are the three main conferences. We'll quickly go through the other ones because they're not like the biggest deal in the world, but
Let's just get Bethesda out of the way because I feel like theirs is easy.
Yeah.
But so is this Ubisoft or Bethesda?
oops, I think
Oh, this is Ubisoft.
I think I went to
okay.
the wrong site. Hold on, let me go to Kotaku because they have a little bit better presentation. Okay, so here is Ubisoft. They started with, or they didn't start with, but they unveiled Mario and Rabbids. So it's just like a crossover between.
Yeah, think like XCOM meets Nintendo. It looks like a lot of fun. I honestly am very interested. I don't know if I'm gonna pay $60 for it. I might wait like 40 on like Amazon or something. But
Yeah.
if it lasts a long time, like if it's a 40 hour like campaign with a lot of replayability or something like that, oh yeah, sign me up.
Yeah,
It'll be a lot of
so
fun.
it's like a turn-based strategy game if you guys are not familiar with XCOM. But yeah, and then moving forward, The Crew 2, open world racing multiplayer game. We'll just skip through that because we're not the biggest racing fans, but it looks really nice.
I don't think any of us even played the first game. So
I played the first game for a very short amount of time, but
okay.
not too much of it. And then Transference VR game, Skull and Bones, which is basically Black Flags or Assassin's Creed's Black Flags, like ship battle gameplay, but this is a multiplayer game, so it looks really interesting. So there's going to be multiplayer combat with naval ships. It'd be very cool to see how that plays out. It looks like
If they pull it off, looks like a fun
it
time.
really looks like they just took Black Flag's gameplay and just made it into a multiplayer game, which is interesting. I'm not sure when this game releases. It'll probably release sometime next year, considering Assassin's Creed Origin is coming out this year. But we'll see.
Yeah, they probably won't want to clash those two together. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't think there was a release date. But moving forward, Starlink, I don't think.
Don't know too much about it. Seems to be an indie-esque type of game. Looks very cool visually. I like spaceships
Kind of
and
reminds
stuff.
me of No Man's
so.
Sky.
Yeah, but hopefully not.
Yeah,
nearly
the
as
combat
bad.
looks a lot more enjoyable. Moving forward, Far Cry 5. I'm actually pretty excited for Far Cry 5. It takes place in the Midwest, I think. So it's kind of like a more southern
Missouri or
yeah,
Mississippi or something like
more
that.
southern like redneck style game. But it's really cool to see a Far Cry game come to the U.S. because most of them take place in other countries.
Random parts
I
of the
think
world.
all
where
of
there's,
them.
Like, yeah.
Haven't all the Far Cry games been in other countries, if I'm not mistaken?
I know two. I know 3 and 4 were. I
Two-
didn't play with the first game.
2 was in Africa, so
Okay. Where was the first game?
I didn't play the first one.
Okay. That's the unknown, but other than that, yeah, I don't think there's ever been one in America.
I think that
Looks like a lot of
yeah,
fun.
I think this is a game I might enjoy just because I don't know, I enjoy like rednecks. I think it'd be kind of funny.
I enjoy rednecks.
I
That's
live
the
in
highlight of
Texas,
this,
so no
discussion.
offense to anyone out there.
Uh,
But moving forward, let's see, Beyond Good and Evil 2, big release. You know more about this.
a lot of people are excited for it. It's been a game that's been in development hell for like over a decade because it's been rumored, canceled, brought back again, and even the developer, when he came on stage to reveal it, he was crying. I feel like that's genuine. I don't think you planned like to cry on stage or anything. He's just very happy to see this be revealed. Much different tone than the first game. I didn't play the first game, but I don't remember there being cussing monkeys and stuff like that in the first game. It felt very more kid-friendly. So this is definitely more of a mature tone. And from what they've said, it's an open world sort of
let's go.
large-scale game. So
unfortunately, they didn't show any like in-game footage, so it'll be interesting to see like what it looks like if it ever comes out.
Yeah, if it ever comes out, I hope it does.
And then that's. Oh wait, it doesn't show it here, but I think Ubisoft is also making the South Park game, and they had a whole ordeal with South Park. It was really funny. I encourage you guys to check out the Ubisoft E3 just to watch the South Park section, just because I thought it was hilarious. A lot of humor there.
Did they have the creators come
Yeah,
back
the creators were on stage the entire time.
That makes it better.
Yeah. And it's supposed to come out sometime this year. South Park Fractured But Whole. And then EA conference started out with Battlefront.
Actually, it started out with Madden, which is really cringe. It was I play Madden, but I don't buy it every year. It was very generic Madden.
I feel like
they showed off a story mode.
I feel like most gamers in general don't really care too much about sports, but I know it sells very well, especially with people who are into football and so forth.
Yeah. We can just talk about the main two that were shown on this conference. There was a brand new game called what's the name of that new game that was shown? It was
Anthem?
Down One? A Way Out.
Way Out.
It's like a co-op story mode driven game where you break out of prison and you go on an adventure. I don't know too much about the game other than the fact it's always split screen, you always see what your partner is doing. Looks very cinematic, so it looks like it could be a lot of fun or it could be bad. It's made by the people who made Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. It just popped up.
Just knowing that, I feel like it's going to be a great game because Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, it's one of the best story-driven experiences. It's like an indie game that you can purchase for less than $5, but a great little game that it's very short, but it's a great game. That's what I'm trying to say anyway. But yeah, it looks interesting. We'll see.
And then they spent the last half hour talking about Battlefront 2, which I'm definitely excited for. I don't know, I forgot what your opinion is on it, but it looks like a lot of fun. It looks like they're trying to eat their own words by all the complaints they've got from the first game, which they even on stage said, listen, we heard you guys, you hated what happened in the first game.
Well, they said it was 3 to 4 times larger, and there's going to be a single-player campaign, which is great.
And all the DLC is going to be free and stuff like that.
There's also different, different episodes or movies that they're showing off here, like the droids from Episode 1 and Darth Maul, which is really cool. I love.
Which is awesome. Me and you both love the droids. The droids are sweet, so it's definitely cool to play as them.
Darth
again.
Maul is my favorite, bad character.
In Battlefront 2, the original Battlefront 2, he was so fun to play. I remember if you got him, you could just slaughter 50 people easily in one stroke. It's a lot of fun. So
from what they showed off, it looks really nice, but we'll have to see. They say free DLC, but like you said, there's going to be microtransactions. So we'll see if it's going to be good or not, but it'll probably be a pretty good experience.
Yeah, I feel like I got screwed over with the first game, honestly, because it was so poorly supported with all their they made you pay so much money to keep relevant in the game, and I refused to do that, so I didn't buy any of the DLC. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be picking up that game this year. And then, was that it? I guess Need for Speed.
Need for Speed.
And Battlefield got DLC, and no one cares about that. Madden 18 is right here.
The story mode.
Story mode in Madden for the first time. A lot of sports games. And then going on to Bethesda. Bethesda had a really bad conference in general. A lot of people are really upset about them. First of all, they didn't unveil a new Elder Scrolls game or any new IP at all. They did show Wolfenstein 2, which is probably a big release to some people. But at first they showed Doom VR and also Fallout. What was it? Fallout 4 VR and also Skyrim VR.
And they showed off Skyrim on Switch, which I don't personally care about. They keep trying to repackage Skyrim for I feel like forever. They've resold the game 20 times at this point, and it feels kind of ridiculous.
No more Skyrim.
They need to let that game just rest. put it in the grave peacefully and move
Well,
on to the next
yeah,
like Elder
it's
Scrolls
it's
game.
been 6 years now. People are really eager to see a new Elder Scrolls. So it's just seeing Skyrim again, like over and over, year after year. People are getting tired of it. And as
I mean, that's kind of cool, like having the Master Sword and stuff. But I
well,
mean, like,
the,
I feel
the
like that's a
thing
gimmick,
is,
if
you could have
anything.
done that 6 years ago with mods
Yeah,
on PC.
yeah,
So I don't know.
yeah. I
It's
agree.
probably gonna. I don't know. It's just yeah.
So there was something about a paid mod membership. You want to talk about that? You know a lot about
Yeah,
that.
they're releasing something called like the Creation Club, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to sell paid mods through their store. So now you're gonna have to purchase their like little in-store currency to buy mods for Skyrim and Fallout and so forth. And people are very upset about that because traditionally mods have always been free. They're created by users. They shouldn't be sold to you. So a lot of people are very upset that they're trying to sell mods. And last year, I think they were trying to sell mods on Steam, but I think Valve shut it down or someone shut that project down. But very, very strange that they're going in this direction. A lot of people are very upset of Bethesda. But yeah,
Yeah, overall, I think people agree Bethesda had the worst conference. They had like one good game to show, which was Wolfenstein, and then the rest was like trying to resell you Skyrim, and it was
they also showed a new
so.
Dishonored game. A lot of people are excited for that as
Oh,
well.
is it a full grown? Is it a full grown new game?
I think so.
Okay.
Standalone adventure.
Hey, that comes out on my birthday. That's cool.
Um,
Not that I'll ever ask for that
yeah,
for
I
my
think
birthday.
it's a full-on
I've
game.
still not played the
I'm not
first
entirely
game,
sure.
but
It's a new adventure. Dishonored: Death of the Outsider. It might be like a spin-off, but we'll see. And then The Evil Within 2, which looks like a great horror game. I didn't play the first one, so I don't really know a whole lot about it. But just judging from this trailer alone, this looks like a fantastic horror experience. I might have to get the first game and try it out, just because this trailer looked really, really interesting to me. And then, like you said, Wolfenstein 2, which is a big deal to a lot of people. It had one of the best trailers, I think, of E3. I don't know, they recreated like a 90s feel to it.
it
Or
looks so
not 90s,
cool.
but like a
They did it so well.
70s feel.
Like you got to watch it yourself. If you get the time, go and like watch this. It's just like, oh my god, they put a lot of effort into this. And the gameplay itself looks cool. Like look at that. Like it's very good graphics.
The gameplay is very
wow, actually,
similar
very
to
good
the first
graphics.
Wolfenstein. Not a whole lot different in my opinion, but visually it looks amazing. New weapons and so
definitely.
forth. I'll definitely be picking up. I played the first one and it's great. I need to play. There's like an expansion or something called the New Order that I need to play as well. But that's Bethesda, and I think that's pretty much it. I should mention really fast to you. I think there was a trailer for Kingdom Hearts 3 that came out recently. Is that something coming out this year?
It came out. It came out a week before E3 started. It was like an orchestra trailer that showed a lot of gameplay. Unfortunately, Kingdom Hearts 3 and Final Fantasy 7 remake are both supposedly
yeah,
like
that's
3
another
years
one.
away. Like the developers are Square. Someone at Square said that they're both supposedly like 3 years away, which is really upsetting. Like Square has a bad habit of reviewing things that are way off like of release because they've done this in the past with several games, and they didn't exactly make anyone happy by saying our game is still like 2 to 3 years away.
So
Which is weird because the games look like they're pretty far in development.
yeah,
so it's kinda
definitely
weird.
with last year's trailer of Final Fantasy 7, it looked really promising. But
Yeah.
I need to mention a lot of people were disappointed with this year's E3, not because it was necessarily bad, but they had their hopes up. There's a lot of games that were supposed to be announced that weren't. Things like Red Dead Redemption 2, Borderlands 3,
Last of Us 2.
Final Fantasy 7 remaster or whatever they're doing, remake.
And I totally get like why people are mad,
one
but the
more.
fact that none of those were shown, like none of those big
also
games,
the Elder
is just
Scrolls 6. I think it was supposed to be called Valen something, but yeah, people were really eager for like a new Elder Scrolls game, a new IP from Bethesda, but nope, didn't really get anything out of any of the conferences, which is very
weird. Yeah,
disappointing.
the closest we got to anything like major was Metroid Prime 4, and like even then we only got a logo. So
Oh,
like,
also
how much
Halo.
really-
I forgot about Halo. So there's
Yeah.
like 6 games that people were really anticipating, but weren't shown off at all. So we'll have to wait another year to see if they come out next year.
So for our closing statements, do you want to just say what your favorite game at E3 was, personally?
I think my favorites, I don't know. My favorite reveal, I guess, which was kind of shocking, was Metro Exodus on the Xbox. But I think Spider-Man looked really cool on the Sony conference
Oh,
as
yeah.
well.
Definitely. I feel bad for you because you can't play that game. I wish you could play that game. But yeah, that was my second favorite game, the Spider-Man game. The first game was Mario Odyssey. I can't wait to play that.
Yeah, I'm
game.
excited for Mario Odyssey as well.
I haven't been able to get a Switch mainly because they're sold out, and at the moment I'm not super in a hurry because there's only Zelda and Mario Kart that I want to play at the moment. I know Zelda's amazing, but I can wait. I'm patient. But by the time like Christmas comes around and there's Mario and everything, it's like I gotta get one because it's gonna be
you
awesome.
might think about getting a Switch like this summer if you need something to play, but if you have time, like if you're not like free on time, Zelda is a game that's going to take you at least 40 hours to get through.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
But then again, it might be better just to space it out over the next 2 years.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
One last thing I wanted to say, I'm pretty sure the Xbox One X is just going to be a major flop. I don't think too many people are too excited about that, and that's one of the biggest like things of this E3. Microsoft was really teasing this for the last 2 years, and I just don't really see anything too impressive about it.
You mentioned to me that they could have saved it by pairing it with the new Halo game,
Yeah.
but like you mentioned, there was no Halo game. So,
Hopefully next year there's going to be a Halo 6. I'm a big fan of the Halo series, so hopefully they do something with it. But then again, I feel like they're going to release Halo on Windows 10. They're starting to release all the like main first-party games on Windows 10, so people are just going to get it on PC anyway. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think we covered most everything. Do you want to say anything else?
No, I'd give this E3 like a C plus, B minus C plus. It was a little bit underwhelming, like you mentioned. People had their hopes set up way too high, which is our own fault. But the fact that no conference really like stole the show, I feel like Nintendo's is the most solid, just because they didn't like they focused on fun more than like technology, and I feel like that helped them. And this E3, which was like nothing really impressed anyone.
One last thing I just wanted to quickly note, there was also like a PC conference that was very strange. It was like the first time they ever did it, and it was just super freaking odd, and there was nothing really worth saying about it, so we're just going to skip over that.
In other news, Atari mentioned recently they're building a new console.
Oh.
Like a brand new console. Yeah. Really weird. I don't know much about it. I just felt like mentioning it. Their CEO came out of nowhere and said, for years we've been working on a brand new console. We don't have anything to reveal at the time.
You think it's going to be like a retro style console?
So they said it's PC based. So I don't know what they mean by that. If they're actually going to try to go against Microsoft and Sony and Nintendo, I feel like it's going to be very hard. No one's played Atari games since like the early 90s because that was like their last console. So that's an uphill battle. I hope they know what they're doing, but that's breaking news that just came out like the other day.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll just wrap this up. I guess pretty good E3 overall. That's pretty much it. I'm going to have the MightyGazelle's YouTube channel in the description below if you guys want to go check him out. Thank you so much for joining me in this little podcast.
Thanks for inviting me. A lot of fun to do.
And I guess that's it. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.
Bye, guys.